Powered by उच्च सोचको निर्माण सगरमाथा सिमेन्ट जुनी जुनीलाई।
They say art just does not, well, tell you things. It also asks you a lot of questions. र आज यही सम्बन्धी कुरा गर्न हामीहरुसँग को हुनुहुन्छ भने, well, यो चिया ब्रेक पछि थाहा पाउनेछौँ। Alright, welcome to Prime Times. This is me, Pradhan. र मसँग हुनुहुन्छ संगीता थापा जी, जो चाहिँ हुनुहुन्छ फाउन्डर डाइरेक्टर अफ सिद्धार्थ आर्ट ग्यालरी एन्ड अल्सो फाउन्डर चेयर अफ काठमाडौँ ट्रिएनाले। सो नमस्ते म्याम। म्याम, काठमाडौँ ट्रिएनालेसँग मेरो आबद्धता डाइरेक्ट छैन। कुनै बेला म एउटा म्यागजिनमा काम गर्थेँ हैन, त्यति बेला आई वेन्ट देयर टु पुट अप अ स्टोरी हैन। I was told by my editor in chief, यस्तो भइराछ, so why don't you go check it out? It was new for me. And like then and like now, I'm interested in covering new things, knowing about new things.
Okay.
And it was very interesting because Kathmandu Triennale भन्ने बित्तिकै मेरो in my memory कस्तो छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ नौतले दरबारमा there was some art being showed with the lights and everything, and it was pretty amusing. People at Doubly were pretty amused. It was right after earthquake.
That's right.
हैन, अनि त्यति बेला people had emotions, and to see those arts getting shown at नौतले दरबार of Basantapur was a thing. अनि त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि it is within me, that memory. Now I want to know what Kathmandu Triennale actually means.
Triennale भन्ने शब्द चाहिँ नि it comes from Italian.
हजुर.
The American, in English it would be triannual. Means once every 3 years.
हजुर.
So when we started the Triennale in 2009, it was known simply as the Kathmandu International Art Festival. हामीले festival को रूपमा मात्रै सोचेको थियौं. And अब काठमाडौँमा it's the mega event with 100 artists and 16 venues across the city. एकैचोटी खोल्दाखेरि a lot of it is fundraising. The economy of Nepal after 10 years of civil war was in a dire situation. So मलाई पहिले in the outset मलाई के थाहा थियो भने 2 years भनेको biennale हो, biannual हैन, biennale गर्न सकिदैन नेपालमा because you have to really look hard for money and find the right people to put something together भनेर in the outset नै हामीले every 3 years गर्ने भनेर plan बनाएको हो. And 2009 मा भयो, 2011 मा भयो, अनि 2015 मा गर्ने भन्दाखेरि भूकम्प भयो.
Right.
And it was such a sad time with so much loss of lives. We took a step back and we said it's better to mourn, it's better to rethink everything because your earthquake bhairala, it's the wrong time. And then the word biennale comes from what happened in 1895 in Italy. Italy ma Venice Biennale bhayo. 1895. Just think where Nepal was in 1895. Right? So that time the city celebrated every 2 years ma they were going to do a mega art event. And countries all around the world copied the format. Dhaka ma Asian Art Biennale huncha. That's the most famous one. Right? India ma pani gareko थियो, but it stopped. Right? Then we decided Triennale format ma किन नजाने, हामीले पहिले नै 3 years मा गर्ने भनिरहेको थियो. So we'll use the word Triennale because that reasserts that we are festival भनेको food पनि हुन सक्छ, fashion पनि हुन सक्छ. That's not what we are. We are completely dedicated to the artists and to art भनेर Triennale गर्ने बित्तिकै हामीलाई इटलीको Biennale Foundation ले लेख्यो, welcome to the Biennales of the world भनेर. And it just completely leveraged our event to an international platform. So that is what the Triennale actually is.
Okay. So since you mentioned about 1895, do you think like जसरी इटलीको चाहिँ भनौं न art and culture जसरी फस्टाइरहेको, they have documented their things and stuff. हाम्रोमा यहाँ मूर्ति चोर्दाखेरि नि आफ्नै मूर्ति हो भनेर पनि लिएर आउनलाई पनि गाह्रो छ नि त
गाह्रो छ
हैन because there is no documentation that actually
Yeah.
proves that you know this is ours or there is no documentation that actually says हामीहरुकोमा पनि हाम्रै तरिकाको एक्जिबिसनहरु हुन्थ्यो किन पहिला भनेर पनि सो तपाईलाई चाहिँ एक्जिबिसन भनेर चाहिँ तपाईको स्टडी गर्दाखेरि पनि when त्यो परापूर्व कालमा पनि have you sort of like researched yourself or something like that पहिला पनि यस्तो हुने गर्थ्यो कि नेपालमा पनि त्यस्तो के छ के
हैन मुख्य कुरा त के हो भने पहिले त in 1895 in Nepal त्यति बेलामा the main patrons of the arts were the kings राजा noble families भाइ बारदारहरु business people र मन्दिर गुठीहरु हैन गुठीहरुले the art was mainly religious अनि बिस्तारै individual expression त came when the art colleges was established during the British Raj in India. हैन 1834 मा हाम्रो first Lalit Kala Juddha Kala Pathshala was established in Nepal. Interesting story के छ भने Juddha Kala Pathshala and the zoo were established at the same time. हैन अनि Chhauni Museum पनि So Chhauni Museum ko director was also the director of the zoo.
Okay.
So he used to go and feed the tigers and then bagla khandiyo come back to the National Museum. त्यस्तो पनि एउटा समय थियो but that awareness grew at that time. हैन हाम्रो देशमा अब चाहियो एउटा museum एउटा exhibition venue भनेर.
So speaking about awareness, things can only escalate if the current youth or the current generation is pushing or किनकि उहाँहरु नै पछि गएर त्यही कुरा अर्गनाइज गर्दै गर्नुहुन्छ because you took over someone पहिला अगाडि जसले छ नि गरिराख्नु भएको थियो र now you're in a position to organize and you know you have the connections and you have the network everything you have the knowledge more than anything else so youth like engage कसरी गर्ने ma'am like how do we engage youth because the youth we know the state of the country it's brain draining you know सबैजना गरिराख्नु भएको छ
I just think John F Kennedy ko such a beautiful line छ नि ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for the country. So actually the Kathmandu International Art Festival suru huँदाखेरि पनि 3 years and from the platform I already said that you know these events will incorporate young artists and to जुन किसिमको energy dedication चाहिन्छ to install the work to create the fabrications to install the works त्यो त senior मान्छेले गर्दैन के so the Triennale and the International Art Festival is actually the training for the next generation of art leaders हैन how to manage a festival you know university मै course हुन्छ के how to manage the arts भनेर but we are learning by doing किन हाम्रो त त्यस्तो सिकाउने कोही पनि ठाउँ छैन
युनिभर्सिटीमा कोर्सै
छैन आर्ट्स म्यानेजमेन्ट भन्ने प्रोग्राम छैन I went to an arts management program in USA, right?
So actually this holds a pretty big market probably in Nepal if we can execute this. Maybe?
Exactly. So we are training people in exhibition design, in curation. Actually curation भनेको के भन्छ, हैन? So curation is the study of the work to be able to present it in its context, right? त्यसको research गरिकन त्यसको बारेमा लेख्न पनि सक्नु पर्यो. हैन ग्यालरीमा गएर पेन्टिङ मान्छेले टकटक झुन्डाउने मात्रै होइन नि there's a lot of thought that goes behind it and that requires some study some research so we are training a generation of young people how to do that हैन
okay
अब आर्ट सँग हैन कति जना मान्छे आउँछ कि ग्यालरीमा म त यो आर्ट के पनि बुझ्दै बुझिन भन्छ है the art is such an abstract thing it's not like a song or a poem though there are poems which people don't understand as well हैन it's not a film where there's a conclusion or a non-conclusion deliberate होइन so art को लागि चाहिँ नि बुझाउनको लागि हामीले we have an educational outreach program and त्यसमा चाहिँ नि हाम्रो फेस्टिभल को डाइरेक्टर हुनुहुन्छ Sharare Bajracharya so after 2012 being the director of the Kathmandu International Art Festival we understood that we really need to work with the local community local community लाई पनि ल्याउने स्कुल्सहरुलाई पनि ल्याउने र उनीहरुलाई त्यो बुझाउनलाई we have dedicated people who will give guided tours so उनीहरुले guided tours पनि दिन्छ त्यो आर्ट को बारेमा पनि वर्कशॉप्स हुन्छ हैन so there's some engagement चाहिँ नि सधैं भइरा हुन्छ
so हाम्रो सोसाइटीमा आर्ट भन्ने बित्तिकै इज इट अलवेज catering to a niche segment of the people?
We really
should art be always catering to the niche segment of the people?
In some ways, it is like that all over the world, I know. But I really think Bangladeshमा जाँदाखेरि कि कोचीमा जाँदाखेरि Bangladeshमा Dhaka Art Summit हुन्छ र Asian Art Biennale. कोचीमा चाहिँ नि you have the Kochi Biennale र every taxi driver, the bus driver, when we land there says, oh, have you come to our Biennale? And it's called the People's Biennale. होइन सो त्यो लोकप्रिय हुन चाहिँ नि अति नै आवश्यकता छ कि त्यो when it goes to the grassroots, then it picks up its own momentum. त्यो निशमा मात्रै बस्यो भने that is our failure. होइन we have to really reach and engage people. हामीले त्यो प्रोग्रामिङ गर्दाखेरि नि how does that one work speak to the audience भनेर हामीले त्यो सोचेर हामीले गर्न सक्छौँ.
So it's something like a state where someone thinks like art लाई चाहिँ कसरी market गर्ने to reach out to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So can I just ask you this, like as a student of marketing and business, होइन जसले स्टुडियो अपरेसनमा ल्याइराख्नु भएको छ or the ones who are running studio like yourself, हामीहरूले उहाँलाई as an entrepreneur नै हेर्न सकिन्छ?
Gallerists are entrepreneurs, होइन because they have to think of ways to survive. तपाईले भनिहाल्यो नि niche market हो, कसले आर्ट किन्छ, होइन हल्यान्डमा गयो भने Holland has such a tradition with the arts, होइन banks give loans for people who want to buy art.
Oh, this is interesting.
Hey, now just think about it. You're studying business and marketing. What a great strategy it is. Artist like usko painting बेचेरै खानु छ. होइन the collector wants a fine piece of work on his wall. Why can't the banks come in and say, okay, you pay me, over a period of 2 years. A motor त्यसरी बेच्न सक्छ भने आर्ट सक्दैन.
It is a commodity after all.
It is a commodity.
It caters to the emotions.
त्यो डचले बुझिसक्यो. Many countries are copying this model. And I think it's high time it happened.
It's actually a good product for the banks too to sell. But how do you think नेपालमा त म्याम एक्जिबिसन गर्यौँ राख्यौँ आर्टिस्टलाई पनि we try to put up the artist, give a platform, सबैको कुरा गर्यौँ. तर नेपाल जस्तो देशमा where basic needs are of an issue to attend. होइन यस्तो देशमा त हामीहरूलाई पनि एकदमै for the people who are involved in art, it's pretty much of a challenge. मलाई पनि मेरो दिदीहरूले चाहिँ के भन्नुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ नेपालमा गाह्रो छ जुन फिल्डमा तिमी छौ बिकज हाम्रो देशमा यस्तो बेसिक एन्टिटी नै अटेन्ड गर्न गाह्रो छ त्यसमा फर पिपल इन्भेस्टिङ इन आर्ट और एन्टरटेनमेन्ट एकदमै विलासी जीवन भएकोहरूले मात्र गर्न सक्छ भन्नु भएको थियो कि लाइक व्हाट इज योर टेक अन इट?
होइन यो गाह्रो छ भन्दैमा आर्टिस्टले आर्ट नबनाएर थन्केर बस्यो भने त नासै भयो होइन. क्रिएटिभिटी कम्स फ्रम स्ट्रगल अल्सो. म भन्छु नि when I entered the Nepali art world, it was in 1985-87. होइन ग्यालेरी त 87 मा स्टार्ट गरेको. 35 years भयो है.
35 years you've sustained this के रे हाम्रो सिद्धार्थ आर्ट ग्यालेरी.
35 years.
35 years.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot.
I've seen a lot. From I began with all the त्यति बेलाको senior artists, all the great artists like late Lansing Bangdel, Sashi Bikram Shah, Vatsa Gopal Vaidya, all the great masters भनौँ नि उहाँहरू नै हो नि. Birendra Pratap Singh, Sashikala Tiwari. So I began with them. Then a younger generation came. What I found is 80s it was like the golden years, where we were at peace. So people were selling beautiful works. But by 1996, the political unrest, the struggle, mostly I would say the questioning. Right? Where is it going? त्यो सुरु भयो के. Right? So for me, it was like a parallel, introduction. There's that. The beautiful Nepal, and then there's the Nepal in struggle. Right? So it changed. Right? And then the artists, अब जनयुद्ध नै सुरु भयो हैन 1996 to 2006 त्यति बेलामा the artists were on the streets, you know, demanding peace, saying stop this violence, stop this torture, these abductions. So for me, I saw the most moving works of art created at this time.
Wow.
That reflected the struggles of Nepali people. Right?
All right.
Very hard to live with, but very poignant and very powerful.
Right.
Right? So the suffering of the nation was mirrored in the artworks. Right? त्यो किसिमको एक्टिभिजम चाहिँ नि during this 1996 to 2006 मा सुरु भयो कि and you have artists like Jyoti Dawadi, Ashmina Ranjit, Susan Chitrakar, I mean Batsayan Bhayalyo, Gopal Kala Premi, so many artists who, you know, were on the streets with performances saying please stop this, we're Nepali and Nepalis don't need to kill Nepali people, you know. This war must conclude, peace आउनै पर्छ भन्ने कुराहरू कलाबाट भइरहेको थियो, कलाबाट, साहित्यबाट, सङ्गीतबाट, सबैबाट भइरहेको थियो नि.
All right. So on that note, I'd like to take a commercial break and we'll be right back only on PrimeHD. This is Chiya Guff, म जय प्रधान. साथ हुनुहुन्छ मेरो सङ्गीता थापाजी, जसले चाहिँ, well, she's enlightening me in the process of art and, well, I hope you are too. All right, welcome to Prime Times SD. म जय प्रधान, साथमा हुनुहुन्छ मेरो सङ्गीता थापाजी र यो हो चिया गफ. उहाँ हुनुहुन्छ फाउन्डर डिरेक्टर सिद्धार्थ आर्ट ग्यालरीका र फाउन्डर चेयर अफ काठमाडौँ ट्रिएनाले. सो मलाई उहाँले गिफ्ट लिएर आइदिनु भएको थियो, which for sure I'll curate it and go through it every now and then. It has information about artists, it has information about the art, and it's been well presented. मैले अघि नै पनि म्यामसँग कुरा गरिरहेको थिएँ. म्याम, all the artists उहाँहरू सबैजना काठमाडौँ ट्रिएनालेमा फिचर हुनु भइरहेछ अहिले. सो लाइक तपाईँको चाहिँ बेसिकली यति धेरै आर्ट फर्महरूसँग तपाईँको छ नि, यु कम अक्रस विथ अ लट अफ आर्ट फर्म्स. हाउ डज इट एफेक्ट यु इमोसनली? धेरै मेसेज हुन्छ नि त.
I feel born again with every exhibition.
हैन?
Right? That's the joy of being a gallery director or curator. You know, same कुरा देखाउँदाखेरि त आफूलाई पनि monotony त हुन्छ नि. So it's important to acknowledge the different art forms there are. कति genre को काम हुन्छ, कति स्टाइलहरुको हैन, performance हुन्छ, photography. I mean, there's so many different ways that artists are.
There's so much of investment gone, eh?
Yeah.
Like I can see that from the design to the ones who've designed.
That's right.
हैन, सबै कुराहरु. So काठमाडौँ ट्रिएनाले र सिद्धार्थ आर्ट ग्यालरी, how did you, like, you've been doing this for 35 years?
Yeah.
35 years मान्छेलाई एक वर्ष बिजनेस सस्टेन गर्न गाह्रो भएर थप गरिसकेको हुन्छ. झन् आर्टमा झन् तपाईले जसरी लानु भएको छ. नाउ काठमाडौँ ट्रिएनालेसँग चाहिँ आबद्ध हुनुको मेन रिजन के हो? किनकि सिद्धार्थ आर्ट ग्यालरी itself is pretty much established. You've already established it. You have good connections. Why do we need to reach out to something like, you know, a concept that's been groomed abroad?
मलाई कस्तो लाग्यो नि, well, it's a festival, महोत्सव. हाम्रो भनौँ न इतिहासमा पनि कतिवटा महोत्सव छ नि, जात्राहरू छ. So it's like a big jatra of art, right? Where the whole world comes together in one place. That's the whole idea, right? र यो अघि मैले भने यो 1996 देखि 2006 मा जुन किसिमको ट्रमाहरू नेपालमा भइरहेको थियो नि, मलाई के लाग्यो नि, त्यो स्टोरीजहरू बाहिर आउन इन्टरनेसनली एकदम जरुरत थियो. Because that suffering that Nepal went through, it needed to be acknowledged, and also the change it brought, right? अब gallery त commercial भयो, then मलाई, you know, if you look at the geopolitical positioning of Nepal in SAARC, you know, we are in such an advantageous position. If you talk about business and marketing, you know, Pakistani artists like India ma exhibit karna गाह्रो छ. हैन इन्डियनलाई पाकिस्तानी जान गाह्रो छ कहिलेकाहीँ बङ्गलादेशीलाई पाकिस्तान जान र भाइस वर्सा इट्स अ प्रब्लम
because of the political
हैन geographically the SAARC headquarters is in Nepal and we do not have a problem with any of our neighbors हैन this is like Switzerland. It's a common ground where any South Asian country can come without any panga. So why aren't we capitalizing on that, on our, the basis of our non-political charm? Climatically, you think of the temperatures in the summer in Pakistan, Bangladesh, or anywhere 40, 45 degrees. We have such amazing weather. And we have the most incredible city of Kathmandu, which is itself can be a global gallery. So for me, it was very important to establish Kathmandu as a cultural center or an international art hub. त्यति बेलामा कुन फ्लाइट आउँदैन थियो भन्नुस् त लुफ्थान्जा आइरहेको थियो. We've lost that now, हैन. So many flights were coming to Nepal. Hollandबाट पनि आइरहेको थियो. I've forgotten the name of the airline. अहिले भर्खर श्रीलङ्का पनि सुरु भएको छ. So our connectivity, our lack of political panga with our neighbors, I thought we were the most ideal destination to be a regional arts center. I still feel that.
Do you still have the potential to do it, Abba?
We have.
Or do we need to go from ground zero?
No, we have the potential, and I think our art community has woken up to that fact. यसमा चाहिँ नि टुरिज्मको लागि हाम्रो कल्चरल करेन्सी, हाम्रो कल्चरल क्यापिटल के हो? We need to rethink. हामीले सधैँभरि त्यही माउन्टेन्स, त्यही रिभर राफ्टिङ, त्यही प्याराग्लाइडिङ, I mean, they're wonderful, हैन? But we have to be able to offer the cultural aspect
USP
of it. Yes.
For tourism.
We have to raise that USP. And that is why art is so important. हाम्रो ललितपुर भनेको के हो? City of fine art. हैन? ऐतिहासिक समयमा पनि who didn't come to Nepal to order their pawas and tagkas for Tibet, हैन? Statues हरु बहालमा लानलाई राख्नलाई Tibet पनि गयो, Mongolia पनि गयो, हैन? People were always coming to Nepal for the arts. It was a place for political exiles, religious exiles, हैन? We know in history को आएर यहाँ बस्यो. So why not become the regional center for art?
Right.
Oh, one thing is missing. Our economic statistics hasn't gone up like Bangladesh ko अहिले जुन छ. अहिले Bangladesh is doing amazing things with the arts. I wish we could do more. Yeah.
How do you think art can prosper, ma'am, हाम्रोमा now strategically speaking, like just taking like another, अब यो चोटि ट्रिएनाले हुँदैछ हैन? यो चोटि अब अर्को 3 वर्षमा if you were to put it out like तपाईले भन्नु जस्तै मासलाई engage गरेर to make them aware about the art, what could be the best strategies?
Well, we had अब यो COVID ले गर्दाखेरि so many things that we wanted to do for community engagement चाहिँ नि हामीले त गर्न सक्छ कि सक्दैन भन्ने पनि दाउदाउ थियो नि त. It was supposed to happen in 2020. Then it moved to 2021 April, then to 2022 October, then to February of 2022, right? Now we've come to March. We still don't know if suddenly cases rise, हामी फेरि ठप्प बन्द हुने हो कि होइन. So त्यसले गर्दाखेरि we never even heard the word hybrid solutions, right? अब हाइब्रिडमा पनि सोचेर हामीले त्यो भनौं न एंगलले पनि सोच
online exhibition.
Do
you think it's going to be as effective or as connecting?
During the pandemic, Art Basel is a very famous forum, right? Everyone went virtual. Right? Or you could enter the exhibition room, you could guide your cursor, you could pause before the paintings, you could check out the details. त्यो कुराहरु हुन थाल्यो के. And I also did that with the Sidhhartha Art Gallery. Exhibition virtually पनि मान्छेले they could attend it from everywhere in the world.
How was the response?
Very good. कहिले पनि नसोचेको audience जन्म्यो. So when we think about Kathmandu, पहिले चाहिँ नि visitorले मात्र हेर्ने भयो, हैन? Now people can sit in the comfort of their living room in Spain or in America or Japan, and they can see the Triennale. So that means हाम्रो audience engagement network is far wider. So त्यसमा पनि capitalize गर्नुपर्छ.
Wow, this is something really interesting that
Yeah.
We're having.
Good
a
for
talk on.
marketing.
Very much, very much, very much. So, मलाई एउटा एकदम interesting लागेको कुरा, you have wealth of experience in terms of what you do,
हजुर.
and yet you want to study more. This I picked it up while we were having
Yeah.
conversation. होइन? तपाईं काठमाडौँ युनिभर्सिटीमा you are looking forward to pursue a course.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I talk about it?
Oh, yeah, why
होइन?
not?
On curation, होइन?
Yeah.
So, what actually inspires you to take more of those courses and pursue courses,
Yeah.
educating yourself? What inspires you?
I really don't.
It's probably you're in a state where you actually take classes and make
People say, why don't you give
mentor
classes?
artists and gallerists.
Yeah, mentoring त गरिरहेको छु हैन.
हजुर.
But the most important thing is जब मान्छेले के सोच्छ कि मलाई सबै कुरा थाहा छ, that is the beginning of their downfall. हैन? You can't grow. To stagnate हुनु हुँदैन के. You have to keep upgrading your skills. You have to keep learning something new. I think that's really important. I don't know everything. I know. Not even about life. So I want to learn as I move on.
All right. All right. On that note, I'll be taking my second commercial break. We'll be right back. It's been a really moving episode at Chiya Guff. Pretty different, pretty amazing with Sangeeta ji. We'll be right back only on Chiya Guff. Alright, welcome to Prime Times SD. यो हो चिया गफ, मसँग हुनुहुन्छ संगीता जी र यो मान्छेको नाम चाहिँ जय प्रधान हो. Alright, so we'll be going on with our conversation on art. अब काठमाडौँ ट्रिएनाले चाहिँ म्याम कति तारिकदेखि कति तारिकसम्म हुन लागिरहेको हो?
हाम्रो चाहिँ नि मार्च 1st देखि मार्च 31. सो एक महिना ठ्याक्क चल्छ. र त्यो एक महिना एक्जिबिसन्स मात्रै होइन कि, त्यसमा चाहिँ नि फर्स्ट 3 डेजमा lot of programming, conversations, talks, अनि guided tours.
Online?
Online and physical. दुवै हुन्छ.
Wow.
है त्यो हुन्छ. And as a build up towards the Triennale पनि हाम्रो कुराकानी भन्ने प्रोग्रामहरू चलिरहेको हुन्छ. So different artistsले उनीहरूको कामको बारेमा कुरा गरिरहेको हुन्छ हैन. त्यो चाहिँ नि every week, once a week चाहिँ नि as a build up भइ नै रहेछ त्यो.
Okay.
So
the work has already started.
Started.
How emotional do the artists get when they talk about their work?
Well, art is their life, हैन. आर्टिस्टले पेन्टिङ आफ्नो काम बनाएर लाइफै चलाइरहेछ हैन. So of course every piece is like a child, I would say.
Tell me this, ma'am, like a child भन्नु भने, like I was about to ask a question त्यही फ्रन्टमा के एकदम इमोसनल जर्नी हुन्छ नि त आर्ट भन्ने कुरा त बनाउँदाखेरि. नाउ टु सेल द्याट आर्ट टु समवन एल्स, द्याट ओरिजिनल कपी, त्यो कतिको गाह्रो हुन्छ म्याम आर्टिस्टलाई? I mean, the basis of living for an artist is to sell their art, and probably like if I might be a little bit falling short of words to represent
No, I know
this.
exactly what you mean.
So, and this is the first time I'm asking this question to someone. Believe me, this is the first time I'm asking this question to someone. I might be short of words to represent this question. But what is the process like, ma'am? कतिको गाह्रो हुन्छ सजिलो हुन्छ?
मलाई के लाग्छ भने हिस्टोरिकली एउटा आर्टिस्ट थियो कि एडवर्ड डेगा भन्ने. अनि when Degas sold his art in France, I believe he sold it saying, I'm selling it to you on the condition that I would like to come and see the work. And if I feel that I need to change anything, मलाई त्यो के चित्त बुझेन भने I have the right to come and change.
Right after the completion,
बेचिसकेपछि
अनि फेरि
I still have the right.
That's really authoritative, ni, like should every artist be like that? Like कस्तो हुन्छ?
So that was
interesting take.
Interesting take. But of course, मलाई के लाग्छ भने
What was the response that he got?
He was so famous, people said okay. होइन? I went to another collector's house in Mexico. त्यहाँ चाहिँ नि एउटा खोपामा क्यारेट्सको एउटा झुप्पा थियो है. अनि त्यहाँ झुप्पा मुनि चाहिँ यसो रङ पोखे जस्तै. And I said, hey, what happened to your carrots? And he said, Well, this is an artwork by Mexico's famous installation artists. So here it is. And then my question was, what if the carrots get rotten? Oh, त्यसको user manual छ. त्यो carrotलाई कति किलो जोखेर ल्याएर त्यो खोपामा राखेर अनि फेरि the work goes on. You know, it's an active work of art. So I'm also in conversation with the artist how I get to arrange the carrots. हैन त्यस्तो abstract कुरा पनि छ के जुन यहाँ छैन हैन. But मलाई के लाग्छ नि सकेसम्म नेपाली आर्ट चाहिँ नि नेपालीले नै किनोस् जस्तै लाग्छ मलाई. किन त्यसको
नेपालमै रहिरहोस्.
नेपालमै रहिरहोस् किन भन्दाखेरि पछि त्यसको बारेमा रिसर्च हुन लाग्यो कि. See, you see, we are making history every day.
Yeah.
हैन the artists are making history. त्यो कलाकारको बारेमा केही किताब लेख्न पर्यो भने केही डकुमेन्टेसन हुन पर्यो भने if the works are in Nepal it becomes easier. है अब मलाई कहिले कहिले इमेल आउँछ अस्ट्रेलिया अमेरिकाबाट. My father was in Nepal in 1958 and he bought works by such and such artist. I don't want those works. How much can you sell it for? त्यस्तो मलाई महिनाको 2-3 चोटि आउँछ.
हजुर.
हैन. So I think it's better the works are here. Loved by Nepali people.
Have you ever said like this art is not for sale भनेर? Many times.
भनेको छु.
How does it feel to say no to a staggering amount? Probably. Maybe. I don't know the amount.
This art is not for sale. चाहिँ कहिले कहिले के हुन्छ भने for an exhibition we might bring one work on loan from a collector. That is
on loan. That's also that's also a thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's not for sale because the collector doesn't want to sell it. हैन. कहिले कहिले the collector wants to sell it. That's why it's in the show. एकचोटि अहिले समुद्रमान श्रेष्ठको काम मोना म्युजियममा एक्जिबिसन भइरहेछ. I sold one of his works for 15 lakhs.
15 lakhs?
Yeah.
Wow.
And त्यो न्युजमा आयो कि it was still a time of political unrest. अनि त्यो बन्द
to an international purchaser?
To an international
collector?
Yeah.
Is that the right term?
Yeah.
Collector?
Yeah.
Okay.
अनि त्यो न्युज भइसकेपछि भोलि बन्द थियो कि बन्द भए तापनि मान्छेहरू बौद्धदेखि हिँडेर आएर 10 बजे ग्यालरी 11 बजे ग्यालरी खोल्न मान्छे जाँदाखेरि there was a queue to see his work. त्यस्तो पनि भएको छ.
Okay. So there's an interesting question. मेरो लागि चाहिँ I don't know how interesting it is going to be for you. Now line लाग्छ भन्नुभयो हैन, but it's still in a niche audience, हैन. Now times have changed in such a manner that people on YouTube are becoming famous, putting up videos. People on TikTok are getting famous and doing everything. Why aren't artists as famous or like in the mainstream?
Because they're not so savvy about their marketing.
मैले त्यो entrepreneurial marketing भन्ने पढाएको थिएँ कि how entrepreneurs fail, how they
gallery किन चाहियो त? The reason the gallery exists is gallery काम बेच्ने मात्रै होइन कि. The gallery creates the value about the artist, हैन?
Okay.
So we hype up the artist. उसको persona जस्तै एउटा create हुन्छ, हैन? उसको यस्तो काम छ भनेर.
So you basically brand and market the artist.
Absolutely, हैन? अनि त्यसपछि भनौँ न people pick up his work.
Okay. But then त्यसरी एकैचोटी like the next
but the most important thing is the quality of the artist's work, हैन? That says it all.
The content, basically.
Yeah, the content. And
how do you like tap on the talent? Like this is the next big thing on it.
I go to all the art exhibitions around town. My graduation show ma पनि जान्छु. Then I'm very fortunate to be able to work with some foundations that provide scholarships to artists. So when I go to the BFA shows, my job is to see who are the really bright potential artists that could get a scholarship to create artworks. And after 8 months of receiving the scholarship or a year, they put up a show at the Sidhhartha Art Gallery.
Has there been a point like a talent drought, Vanasti?
No. There's so much talent in Nepal.
Never?
Never.
You've always found someone you
goodness.
can represent.
I wish I was in charge of 100 scholarships. And I only can offer, work with 4 artists at a time. thanks to the foundations that have generously, said they would award scholarships to artists. There's so much talent in Nepal. Really,
Wow.
there is.
And yet there is no formal art के भन्छ
छ नि त नेपाल एकाडेमी अफ फाइन आर्ट छ
त्यो युनिभर्सिटीले चाहिँ त्यो कोर्स गरेको छैन भन्नुभएको थियो नि हजुरले
अहिले 2009 देखि त मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम सुरु भयो
हजुर
क्वाइट लेट इफ यु थिंक इन द रिजन कहाँ मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम छ
ओके
Pakistan always had it, Bangladesh had it, Sri Lanka and India had it. We are late.
त्यो फाइन आर्ट्स मात्र छ भन्नुभएको थियो नि म्यामले
Fine arts.
Yeah, something like के चाहिँ छैन भन्नुभएको थियो नि सुरुमा I sort of like lost the exact word के
Like you mean in curation and art management. अब त्यो बिस्तारै हुँदैछ. It'll happen. Yeah.
So it's actually good that it's happening here and people are actually realizing
अब एउटा मात्रै मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम छ त्रिभुवन युनिभर्सिटीमा
हजुर
but अब काठमाडौँ युनिभर्सिटीमा पनि सुरु हुन लाग्छ. So the more colleges there are, the more vibrant the scene is. होइन सृजना कलेज अफ फाइन आर्ट पनि छ. We need more colleges. And I believe Mexico or China alone produce, thousands of art graduates a year. हाम्रो त्यस्तो स्केलमा त छैन.
Wow, it's really moving.
Yeah.
Looking at the numbers and listening to the stories of the artist and yourself, and the kind of effort that goes into producing good art, fine art.
And what I want to say is, यो 2012 मा exhibit गर्ने कलाकार हितमान र शिलासा राज भण्डारी. Now they also took part in the Kathmandu Triennale in 2017. Now they are the curators of this edition of the Kathmandu Triennale.
Okay.
And what is so interesting about this Triennale is art भनेको के हो, कला भनेको के हो. कला भनेको पेन्टिङ मात्रै होइन. हैन हामीले हाम्रो पुस्ताहरूले गरेर आएको.
It's like media art, multimedia,
so they are
sculpture.
They are doing such amazing work. हैन. And I also want to say that these two curators are also the curators of the Venice Biennale. यसपालि हामी Venice पनि जाँदैछौँ. And for the first time in the history of Nepal, we have our own Nepal pavilion in Venice. So Angshering Sherpa is the artist, along with local Nepali artists. We will also be showing in Venice.
Wow. It's been an education listening to you. It's been an
you.
education having you over at Chiya Guff.
Thank you so much.
It's been a really insightful, 45 minutes?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Come to the Triennale.
I will. I most certainly will. And I urge everyone to be at the Triennale and certainly know more about art. Well, नेपालमा के गरौँ जस्तो लागिरहेछ भने, well, art could be the thing that could actually make you, well, a little bit money, a little bit fame, a little bit name.
And let's forget the COVID for a while.
Yeah, of course. I think Nepalese have already forgotten COVID for a while. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
It's been, like I said, an education having you over, and it's been a wonderful experience. I wish you all the best. I wish you mentor a lot of artists, prosper them, and make Nepal famous all over the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, this is it right now, and this is me signing off at Chiya Guff. This is Jay Pradhan. You have a very wonderful time. Go attend Kathmandu Triennale. I'll be there too, and hopefully, we make contacts. As always, people, let our heart beat, for if you let it beat, it'll take you to all the wonderful places. Ciao.